Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about the books that I've read so far in the month of June, plus what books I want to read this upcoming weekend. I had a really hard time, y'all, trying to figure out my wrap-up this last month. It took too long to film, and I really need to break up some videos. It took too long to film, edit, and I just felt like I had to keep looking at my notes so bad. Now I'm still gonna have to look at notes, but like it was really hard. I had to cut so much out where I was just brain fog. So because of that, I'm gonna try this month to see if I have time to do some like mini wrap-ups along the way, because your girl's struggling. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the books that I've read so far this month. So far, I have read 3 books. Really enjoyed each one. I have read 1 chapter of another book that I'm currently reading throughout the month that we'll talk a little bit about. I've read some of my Bible reading, which is Joshua, and I'm at Joshua 7 or 8. I think I finished, 7 and 8 today. So reading that, getting some Bible reading in, and just trying to prioritize different things this month with faith reading, journaling, all that stuff. And so, I want to talk about the books I've read so far. First book I read in June, I did a reading vlog for, and that was Fortress of Snow by Melanie Dickerson. This is the 4th book in the Dare Cocktail, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I do feel like you can probably read this without reading the series, because I don't remember there being any spoilers for previous books. Maybe a smidge with a couple that's in here, but really, it's not that big a deal. Just kind of read at your own discretion, I guess. I didn't feel like it was spoiling anything, but I could have missed something. So you probably enjoy it best if you read throughout the series, but hey, if you want to just pick this one up, it's probably fine. I do feel like books 2 and 3 you should have read if book 1, but like this one, I don't remember there being anything that spoiled book 1, 2, or 3. Maybe it's just me. This is a Christian fairy tale retelling, and I've really enjoyed my time in this series. Book 1 was kind of like 3.5. Book 2 was 5 stars, loved it. And book 3 was 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. So this one I ended up giving 4 stars, 3.5 to 4 stars. And this is a Snow Queen retelling. The covers are my favorite of all time in this series. I love the purple, and I just love the cloaks that they have, the vibes, all the good things in this. They are YA, so, you know, some cringy moments, but even though the setup is kind of the same each time, the romance is generally super fast, insta-lovey at times. I still have a good time reading these. They're good palate cleanse reads and just an overall good time. And so this one, like I said, it's a Snow Queen. I guess more of a reimagining than a retelling, but this follows our girl Maisie, and Maiselina is her real full name, but this is set like in the early 1300s, and so we have her father. He dies, which is typical in this series. Usually a parent dies, and you know there's a romance interest. They're trying to marry her off of someone who she don't want to marry. She usually runs away, the whole thing, and that's happened pretty much in each book, pretty much, I think, for the most part. But in this one, her father dies, and her brother Warren does not want to help her in any way. He like, peace out, you gone. And so she is pretty much forced to leave, and so she goes to try to seek shelter and help from her older brother John. Honey, she gets to see John, and he like, no, what are you doing over here? So he is not happy to see her either, and she's just like, what am I gonna do? So, but when she goes to see her brother John, she meets this guy, Sir Behringer. She's 16 when she first meets him. A little bit of, you know, connection at the beginning, and they get separated for 2 years because reasons. And during those 2 years, she is really learning a lot about how to defend herself, and she becomes like this excellent knife thrower. I think that's probably the reimagining vibe, because we are seeing her throw knives, and to me, like I said in the vlog, is like, is that the reimagining part? Because does the Snow Queen like throw ice? I don't remember. Either way, she throws knives, okay, honey? Me trying to explain this book. She's learning how to take care of herself, defend herself. She's selling goods at the market, like baking bread and all this stuff. So she's taking care of herself. She's like, bye, brothers. I don't need y'all. I'm doing this thing, okay? And so, me over here trying to explain this. I'm telling y'all, I'm struggling. But, circumstances basically end up bringing her and Sir Behringer back together after the 2 years. And so she's 18 at this point, and, you know, he's got this new mission that's crazy, and it leaves him with the requirement that he has to marry this widow who's crazy. So it's like, what are you doing? Her name's Lady Bristow, and she's awful. She's just like, you know, there's some secrets with her, and there's some rumors and all the things that, you know, they're like, he probably don't need to be marrying this girl. What's going on? And so Maisie finds out about it. She goes to try to, inform him, and the story is going on from there. There's all these things, and so we don't know what's going on with her. You're trying to figure out the secrets of between her and her people. Like, what does she know? What's her mission? What's her betrayal that she's got going on here? What's the rumors with her? And you're really just following their story the whole time. And so it's like, will this girl get there in time to like save everything, all that stuff. The villains, Melody Dickerson knows how to write a good villain, all the things. So yeah, 4 to 5 stars. I highly recommend if you are someone who enjoys fairy tale retelling. Okay, so the next book I'm super excited to chat about really quick, and that is it really quick? I don't know. But The Hunter and the Valley of Death by Brennan S. McPherson. A Christian book club pick for this month. I went ahead and read it early, so I'm super excited to chat about it with you guys. And I can't wait to hear what y'all think about it. Let me know down in the comments below if you read this. It is a novella, so it's only like 80 to 85 pages. I can't remember if it's 80, 90, whatever. It's really short, under 100 pages. Really enjoyed this. I give this 4 stars. It's a very nice allegorical representation of Psalm 23. It also has references to Jesus' death on the cross that really got me emotional. I've never read anything by this author, but what an interesting story. I got this on Kindle. I know some have not been able to get it through their library. I don't know if this is the indie author or not, but either way, I will link the Kindle version down below. It was only a couple of dollars, so I did get it through there. There's an audiobook as well on Audible that I saw, so I'll leave all the links below if you're interested in getting it, or you can get a paperback copy through Amazon. But this was a very short book that just, it's so crazy how short this book was and still evoked such an emotional impact on me. This is an allegorical, very lyrical story, like I said, based on Psalm 23 and the Gospel of Jesus. And so it really reads kind of like this biblical fiction story, but it has like a fantastical parable element, so to speak. It really gives you the emotions at the end. I know it's short, but like I said, maybe it's just me and the time that I read this, or like the feeling I was feeling. I was really into my Bible study and just praying and seeking the Lord at this time when I read the story. But so I did tear up in the end of this, but I was a little confused at the beginning, so that's why it's 4 stars. Like I was like trying to figure out where's the allegory and everything, because I do struggle with trying to piece together allegory in stories that are like this. But what's really great about this is at the end of this book, the author has a short Bible study on Psalm 23 and then a full explanation of where the allegory is. I loved it because it really helped me to see where I missed some things. And I think it helps you, like if you're not someone who, like me, who can figure out allegory very easily, you can see where he's piecing things together, and I like that. In the middle of the story, I was fine. It's just the beginning. I was like, what is this little boy? And I was trying to figure that out. So all these things. But basically this whole story is about, sorry, I should have said this first. But this whole story is about this man. He wakes up in the Valley of Death and he has to like defeat death. And he realizes he's given up everything, his memories, all this stuff. And he has to, like I said, he has to attempt to kill death in order to help his wife who was sick. And he needs to like bring her pretty much back to life and everything. And so he goes on this journey in the Valley of Death through these different trial and error, I guess you'll say. He felt very realistic to me, much like us in our own lives as we make mistakes. Okay, so he makes some mistakes just like us in this, okay? And it's very relatable, and I'm like, yeah, there we are. So it ended up being this beautiful reminder, just like I quoted this in my review, because he quotes this. When we take our eyes off our shepherd, we find ourselves surrounded by trouble, and yet he always delivers the sheep who love him. Yes, it reminds you that Reckless Love of God song where he says, he leaves the 99 to find the one every time. Yes, ma'am. Okay, he goes through all these different trials and errors, and in the end we just see this beautiful redemption through the love of Christ. A whole lot to say because it is a novella, but I just really liked the allegory, that especially the stuff that I missed. I was like, oh, me over here, stuff going on in my head. But I loved how he tied everything together, and how the author's note really explained how much Psalm 23 means to him and what it means to him in his personal life. I really like that. So yeah, I'm really interested to read more of this author. It says it's the first in a series, so he's got several little novellas, it looks like, in this Psalm series. I recommend this if you are into like biblical fiction, want to dip your toes into some of that. Overall, I really liked it. I'm glad this was our book club pick for this month. I hope that y'all will pick it up and we can chat about it in the comments, but I'd love to know your thoughts. So, and then We have a 5-star read. We have a 5-star read. We have a 5-star read. I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay, I'm checking the camera. Okay. Anyway, I just finished this like tonight. So, yeah. Okay. A Noble Masquerade by Christiane Hunter. Book 1 in the Hawthorne House series. Okay. I did read the prequel, but we're going to say book 1. Let me just say, 5 stars. Favorite. One of my favorite books of the year. Christiane Hunter, new favorite author. I love that I'm reading so many new authors this year and finding out what I enjoy. Y'all. Okay, I love this so much. Okay, so this, I talked to my friends. Okay, first off, the reason I read it, I gotta give credit where it's due. Alicia from For the Love of Christian Fiction has read this and reread this and loves it so much. It's one of her favorite books of all time. So, yes, girl. And then Oshina read it. She loved it. They both give it a 5-star. I had to pick this up, okay? Influence, yes. If you like books that have a lot of laughter, like moments you're going to laugh out loud, like pure joy, lighthearted read, like the Regency romance era, Regency ballroom stuff, really great characters writing secret letters, because that's something I forgot to say in my book buzzwords. Girl, I'm going to tell you right now. Writing secret letters back and forth is one of my favorite things. If it's in there, I'm going to be here for it, okay? Really, the trope of liking your brother's best friend, here we go. It's a secret that, like, you are just, like, ready for the big reveal, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now. You waiting for that 50% mark where they're gonna figure everything out. I was here for this. Just thinking about it. I love it. People getting, like, the funny parts in here, like, people, like, this main girl, she's so funny. She's, like, running into the door, knocking food around, hitting people in the nose. getting herself hit in the nose. Just so funny. So funny. I had the best time. It's a really great lighthearted read. So anyway, this is a Christian historical romance, and I just love historical romance. But anyway, Christiane Hunter, she has wrote such a great series here with these great characters. First off, I didn't tell you what this is, what am I saying? But her name is Miranda. Lady Miranda Hawthorne, okay? Miranda is so funny. She truly cares about the people around her, but what's even better is, like, she does not care to get in the middle of something, okay? She does not care to get in the thick of things. She ain't trying to get in trouble, but, you know, her whole life she's kind of been brought up as this, like, high society lady, what is proper, but, like, her thoughts are hilarious. She's thinking what we are thinking, okay? She is. But she ain't afraid to kind of get in the thick of things that need to be done at the same time, you know? And so, yeah, she's one of my favorite characters right now. Then the guy in here, the main romance interest, I loved him. He is mysterious. He is just wonderful. Loved it. I think this story is Miranda has been writing these letters to her brother's best friend, the Duke of Marshington, okay, for, like, was it several years? I don't even know. She had a whole trunk full of letters, honey. And it was, like, really journaling more than anything. She was never going to give him these letters. She'd never met this guy. It was just, like, she'd heard about him. She was, like, penning letters to him, honey. Wasn't even. Well, unfortunately, one day, her brother's valet, Marlowe, Marlowe, he, so good. He ends up mailing or getting the letter to the Duke of Marshington. Okay, I said it. And it was never supposed to go. There was one letter she wrote, and it gets mixed in with the mail. She's like, oh my goodness, this was not supposed to go to him. So, just like her, like, giving all her feelings and talking about her sister and all these crazy things. But then, like, Marlowe keeps, like, giving, being, like, the in-between of her and the Duke writing letters back and forth. So there's all things. But, you know, she starts to have a thing for Marlowe, and it's like, what we got going on here with this love, okay? Getting involved in, like, some very mysterious things, suspicious things that she really don't need to be getting involved in, very serious conflicts. And so the story kind of goes on from there as you just start to see them back and forth and all the things and, like, everything in their everyday life. And her sister is, like, over the top, but it's so I'm like, what is she saying now? But anyway, yeah, it's just a really great, lighthearted Christian Regency romance. Highly recommend if you like those vibes, all the things I said, Regency balls, high society life, you know, lots of laughs. You're going to enjoy this. So, 5 out of 5 stars. All right, so that is everything I've read so far. And I've talked a lot, but that's everything I've read so far this month. And like I said, only 3 books, but I do want to talk about, and I need to look at my notes for this because I wrote down a lot of quotes. Waymaker by Anne Voskamp. I do have the dust jacket off, but look how gorgeous it is underneath the dust jacket. I don't know if I'm gonna put it back on. All the gold foil on the front, I love it. And so this is Waymaker, Finding the Way to the Life You've Always Dreamed of. And I've only read chapter 1, but I want to kind of give y'all an update. This is a Christian nonfiction, and I am just, I don't even know what the word is. My heart is transformed after just reading 1 chapter. I'm completely immersed. I love her poetic writing. This is very just beautiful writing. Like I said, it's just very poetic. Weaving her story of her personal life in with these biblical truths, and I'm here for it. So I am just going to kind of read some things I wrote down so that y'all can kind of see. She's talking about her life and things that, you know, with her husband, their honeymoon, some disappointments and things like that, and our expectations, how they're unrealistic a lot of the times. And I'm like, girl, I'm relatable on this. And then there's some really hard things, heartbreak that happened with her mother and her mother-in-law. And it's just, she's just weaving all of that in so beautifully with the gospel. And I'm here for this, okay? Just real quick, one thing I really liked that she talked about was how screens sell pipe dreams. So it's like there's this lie out there everywhere you go on a screen. The lie that you have to buy this, work out like this, wear this, all that. It's just a lie. You feel like we have to buy every perfectly filtered marketing framed illusion, and you end up painfully disillusioned. Say it with me, okay? Poetry, okay? She making rhymes. I'm just saying. It's so strange how we cannot feel content in our own heart when you feel like someone else is ahead of you. You have that discontentment. But contentment comes from the Lord, right? It's a little bit about loneliness. And when aloneness ends, lostness ends. And we have a God who names himself the one who is with us. God just wants us to be with him. He wants us to have that relationship with him. There is tender mystery in God's ways. You can't control the way of waves, but you can control the way of your sail. And I love it. I just love all of those. Those are all the things I got just out of chapter 1. Y'all, this is like, oh my gosh, it's ministering to me in so many ways. So I highly recommend this. If you are looking for just a great Christian nonfiction, I am enjoying this so much already in just chapter 1. So I'm going to continue on. This is going to lead me into talking about what am I going to read for the rest of the month. Definitely this one. I'm going to just take this slowly because I read Christian nonfiction pretty slowly. So I'm going to read this throughout the month of June, and with my Bible study and everything, continue to read Joshua. So I'm going to try to get through, okay, this weekend. Okay, I've already started reading today, 5 Days in the Sky by Carla Laureano. And hey, Jeanette, Amy, girls, look, I'm doing it. I'm doing it for you, okay? So Jeanette over at Jane Reads and Amy from Pretty Little Paperbacks both love this book, and I'm finally here. So I'm on chapter 3, and I'm really enjoying this. This is about this girl, Andrea. I already told y'all, but it's about this girl, Andrea, and she's like, you know, got this new assignment to snag this high-profile client in Scotland. And so his name's James. And Amy said he go by Jamie later. And I was like, are you kidding? Christian contemporary romance, and I'm here. He's in Scotland, Skye, whatever. And so it literally says, soon Andrea and James begin to sense these 5 days in Skye together may just be God's wild invitation into deeper life and truer love. So I don't know if it's this love or not. 5 days? I don't know. But we're here. I'm going to see what happens. They say it's so good, so I'm here for a good romance, okay? I plan on reading Ketera by Lisa T. Berggren. This is book 1 in the Sugar Baron's Daughters series or whatever. This is a historical romance, so it's set in 1772 England. Lady Ketera and her sisters find themselves the heiress of their father's estates and know they have one option: go to the West Indies to save what's left of their heritage. Although it flies against the conventions, they're determined to make make their own way in the world. But once they arrive in the Caribbean, conventions are the least of their concerns. On the infamous island of Nevis, N-E-V-I-S, I don't know, the sisters discover the legacy of the legendary sugar barons has vastly declined, and that's just the start of what their eyes are open to in this harsh and unfamiliar world. Ketera never intends to put herself at the mercy of a man again, but every man on the island seems to be trying to win her hand, and with it, the ownership of her plantation. honey, I ain't gonna read the rest of that, but that's all we need to know. The other book, if I get to it, I want to start or read or whatever, is book 3 in the Narnia series. One of my goals this year is to read Narnia, so this is on my list. And I was like, where's this book? I finally found it, so yeah, definitely gonna read this weekend if I can. And anything else comes up in between, audio, whatever, we'll see. But that's kind of it for this video. Just wanted to do this to come out this Friday. Thank you for all the love on the book buzzwords video. I did film an anti-book buzzwords video. And again, that was filmed before I took my Outlander books off my shelf. So there's some comments in there. I'm like, well, I kind of want to take that out, but I'm not deleting it. We're going. It's fine. So you can see like me like, yeah, I can kind of see what they're saying. And so anyway, let's move on. But yeah, that's going to come out. It was supposed to come out today, but I wanted to film this instead because I need to talk about these books. Hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know if I'm going to do a vlog this weekend or not. I may just kind of rest. I've been doing a lot of filming and just YouTube things, so I may just rest, y'all. But definitely check out everything on Instagram with me and my Goodreads, and you can kind of see all the updates. I'll try to post some things in stories and all that. But hope that you all have a great weekend. Like I said, I love you guys so much. Let me know if you've read any of these books down below, if you want to read any of these, all the good things down below in the comments. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, y'all!